Good morning, Anne.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
See you
So
too, as
it
always.
is August 15th, 2023, and Anne and I thought we would do something a little different this morning. I'm Suzanne McAllister, and this is Anne Piotrowski, my colleague in both Conversations with a Friendly Vegan and the Post-Animal Use World Project, or PAW Project. And we do monthly meetups. And we have one scheduled for this coming September 18th at 6 p.m. And that will be on Meetup. If you go to Vegan Spirituality Group of Philadelphia, that's where our meetup is, but I'll be posting the link to this in several different places. But we thought we would do just a little preview of what we're going to be talking about. So, Anne, why don't you mention the title and what prompted you to come up with this idea?
Okay. So the title is How Curiosity Can Cure Conflicts in Vegan Advocacy. And the way it came up was I'm always inspired by these monthly meetups. So it's usually the following meeting is something that came up in the previous meeting. So it's
Correct.
something that kind of it's a recurring topic or something that keeps coming up. Our goal has always been in these meetings to support people who are vegan who might find it uncomfortable or awkward or painful to engage with a non-vegan world, engage with non-vegan people and their family, whether it be their family, their friends, or whoever it is. And it's been to find methods and ways so that we can really keep these conversations going when we're feeling when our defensiveness is triggered or when somebody else's defensiveness is triggered. It's really difficult to get anywhere. And if we can't talk about this, so we operate right on this premise that if we can't even talk about it, then how are we going to get anywhere? How are we going to get to a post-animal use world if these even just talking about the possibilities are difficult? So in our last meeting, that came up about how, well, when children ask questions about veganism, we don't get defensive because they're genuinely just curious about it. There's that,
Yes.
they're not coming at us with anything.
They don't have an agenda.
They don't have an agenda.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, that's actually a critical part of doing these conversations and being able to converse with people is to, whenever somebody says something, I think it's pretty common that we immediately begin with this narrative in our head. And when it's an adult and when we maybe know them or we know something about them, we say they're saying this because of this. They're saying this because they're trying to catch me in something, or they're saying this because they don't agree with what I'm saying, or they don't, there's whatever, we make up a narrative, right? This talk that we're going to have has a lot to do with how can we just be curious about what the other person is saying, and not only that, but receive what they're saying as curiosity. So if they say, where do you get your protein, or whatever it is that they say, they're going to say, that we can receive it as just curiosity. And does that change? Does that shift the way that we can respond and be open to going deeper with that?
It's so interesting. A lot of thoughts were going through my mind as you were talking, as they did when we started this conversation at the last meetup. And one of the things I love about what you just said is that even if we do suspect that the person is asking the question, it may not be so innocent, that they really do have a little bit of an agenda, like how can I catch this person? But that really what you're saying is, can we pause? And can we say, okay, rather than having my defenses come up, or my defenses come up, I feel myself getting a little tight, can I remind myself, wait a second, if I can actually experience them as being curious,
yeah,
even if that may be the second or third motive behind their question. It doesn't really matter. If we want to stay connected, then it's important for us to accept it, receive it as curiosity. And I wanted to say this, and I forgot to say this in the intro, which is I have really begun to understand that I think you and I bring something very unique to these conversations, and that is I'm a psychologist, you're a trained and licensed licensed counselor. And so we have between us about 50 years of mental health training behind us. And we both are also practitioners of mindfulness. And so I think we bring these two things in a way that is unusual for many vegan advocates or activists. And I think that's why the conversations that we have on Meetup and elsewhere can be so valuable and different than what other people experience. So, and I think it's why, you catch on to something that somebody is saying, like you did in this instance.
It's almost just a way I listening and then we discuss it afterwards, and we do our videos afterwards and process it a bit, and that helps us to kind of tease out what's at the heart of this. What is it that makes it easier to have a conversation with this group of people but not this other group? And what to refer to what you said earlier, yes, sometimes we're just kind of acting as if we might in the back of our heads think that they have other ideas. Maybe we know that maybe we even know that because they've said it before or something like that. But if we can kind of just act as if it's curiosity, and we can come from there, then maybe we are just one piece of the conversation, right? There's always at least in one other person, if not more. And we don't control anybody else or what their motives are or how they're going to respond, but we do influence. So if we come at it without defensiveness and from a space of that exploring, there's a fair chance that it can reduce defensiveness for the other person as well, because then it feels more safe.
That's
it feels
a great
like a more
point.
safe place to explore if they feel like they can say what they're thinking, and they're not going to be, we've proven to them that we're not going to go on the attack, and we're not going to retreat and silence and ice them out, So we kind of create that track record with people, and these conversations become more. We've always said over the years that we just want to be able to have these conversations. I want
maintain a connection.
We want to have it open. We don't want to shut down important conversations because we don't have the skills to have the conversations. So
exactly. So what I'm going to suggest to people who are listening to this is please join us on September 18th. We do a lot of practice during those sessions. We're open to whatever people bring up. But this is what the title is going to be. So people are going to come with this in mind, I think. And we will talk about how do you develop a strategy for remaining open and childlike, which is not so easy, but it's a skill that can be developed. So absolutely. I hope we're going to see everybody on the 18th. And Anne, as always, I so much appreciate your thoughtfulness and creativity.
Same to you.
All right.
Thank you.